Claudette here with my wonderful, amazing co-host, Sharona. Hi,
Hi, Claudette. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, the 15th, and conversations that matter most. Woo!
Sharona! Yay! So, in case you're wondering, yes, this is another episode of Conversation That Matter Most. And today we wanted to talk about moving forward even when things are shitty. Because let's face it, you're going to have days where things are shitty. And yeah, you could use it, whatever word you want to use. But bottom line, there are times when life is shitty. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Right, Sharona?
That's right. And you know what? Here's the thing. I just saw this thing about George Carlin and Lenny Bruce and how they decided there were words we were not allowed to say. And I think you and I had this conversation a while ago. Who deemed these words to be bad or and whatever
Yes.
curses or what? So I just because I'm a midlife woman, I'm saying screw it. I'm going to use shitty. I might use even deeper words as we go forward. But years ago, I didn't know this. The word tit was not allowed to be said on TV.
Really? Oh my gosh!
Tit.
Wow.
You can
And
call them anything else you want, but you can't
body
say.
parts, and yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
can say elbow, but you cannot say tit. So things get shitty. We got to, be shit kickers sometimes. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Exactly. And so for you, if you are a new member or a new visitor to our episodes, welcome. We're really happy to have you here. And if you are a returning participant, yay, we're happy to have you here as well. And just to give you a little bit of background about, how we got started, Sharona and I met over a year ago. It'll be a year and some. And we started having these conversations that really helped us to think deeper about different things that were going on in our lives, in the world, and just existential conversations, if you wish. And we thought, like, this would be really fun to share it with you, with our audience, with other people, because I'm sure that we are not the only ones that are having these kinds of thoughts or wanting these kinds of conversations. So we started these episodes, and tell others, maybe yourself included, to think either deeper about what's going on or differently, or think that, wow, I'm not the only person. So the purpose behind what we're doing here isn't necessarily for you to agree or disagree with us, but to help you think maybe a little bit beyond what you would normally think, and maybe a bit of challenge. So anything you want to add to this, Sharona?
No, and I think you said it. You said it quite well. And one of the things, it's always fascinating how we start on a topic and we'll always end up someplace else. And so, if you are new or you are returning, we have a whole library of previous topics, and yet we can still go deeper and deeper into these topics because um, life is a challenge, and sometimes we just need a place to hear what others are saying, and then that may help us to have these conversations. Because I don't know about you, but there's a lot. I don't think there really was any place where I learned to have these conversations, these as you say, existential conversations on a level that it wasn't about an argument, but just as an inquiry of what is and what isn't, and how do we deal as women, stepmoms, midlife women, as people as we go forward in our lives. So
Mhm.
I think this is, and I agree. This is not about, oh, what you're saying is, that's not it. We're not trying to persuade anyone. We're not trying to, no, all we're doing is having a like if two friends got together and having a chit chat over a cup of tea and
Or
chocolate
some water
or some water and chocolate.
and chocolate. Yeah, we were talking about chocolate just before coming here, and we're like, oh, chocolate.
Chocolate. Just saying the
So,
word chocolate makes us happy. Anyway, go ahead.
yes, no, it's true, right? Chocolate, just the word, the sound of the word chocolate makes you happy. So imagine, like, let's say you're having a shitty day, and we could say, let's say, like in Harry Potter, we ate chocolate and we'd feel better. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, it would. And sometimes it does. But sometimes the shitty day is just too shitty, and even chocolate is not going to help. So I think one of the things we need to look at is how do we take care of ourselves and our needs and those around us as when things are just seems to be falling apart or it's not going the way we want it to go. So
Yeah, yeah, it's true, right? When our life seems like it's falling apart, sometimes we spiral down into this thought process, right? Where we're thinking, like, if one day or 2 3 days are going bad, like really bad, there's a point where, and I know it's happened to me before, where it's an all or nothing type of thinking, where like, oh my god, everything is going down the tubes. And I think that when we're at that point, it's an accumulation of all these thoughts that are coming to us, and there's a lot going on. You can either be like you're exhausted, you're tired, you can have other issues. um so you really have to look at, is it really an all or nothing situation? Or is this just a moment in time, a moment in your life that's really not going well? And how can you, first of all, I would say embrace it instead of avoiding it, right? And then see what you can do about it. What are your thoughts on this, Sharona?
and I think one of the things is because I was thinking about this is like because I have a lot of those days where it's like, oh my God, why what's going on? Nothing. It seems like I'm hitting every stoplight. It seems like everything. I'm late. Nothing works. Everything. It feels like, and I call those personal klutzy days. I just have personal klutzy days, and everything is just being awkward. I feel awkward in life. And so one of the things is, and I get into that thought process, why bother? Who cares? Well, everything's falling apart. Blah, blah, blah. So one of the things and sometimes it gets really intense, but one of the things that I'm just learning is a couple things. One, life is constantly demanding stuff from us. Life itself is constantly demanding stuff from us. And what brought that to my attention was I was walking to my mailbox and this hawk was chasing this bird, trying to get dinner. And I go, just like every other living being on this planet, we as animals, mammals, we have to go find ways to get food, have shelter, take care of the young, take care of the old, take care of everything. But one of the things that we do as women is we put everybody else's needs before our own. And as I was watching this hawk and it's and they were going fast. I don't know how, I'm looking at that and I'm going, how the hell they're not crashing into trees? Because I know being a personally klutzy person, I would be crashing. I would be that, hitting things. But I go, but they're built for that. They're built for that. And it finally caught it and it went off. And then I was starting to think, you know what? How many other attempts did that hawk have to do that day alone to get that one bird.
Mm.
And sometimes I think we forget that things we have to, so it's a constant demand and challenge. So one of the things when I'm in that place is I find I need to remind myself I need to take a break from whatever's going on. So the first thing is how do I take care of myself, take a break, and give myself permission not to hold the world together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, right, Sharona? I agree with what you're saying in that as women, we tend to put the world on our shoulders, right? We tend to think that we need to be the caregivers and nurturers for everybody around us, but then we forget the most important person is ourselves. And, you know, one thing, and whether you agree or not, is that I think sometimes it's easier to take care of other people than it is to take care of ourselves, because you don't need to think about what's going on for you. So you you're in a busy mode where you're focusing on everybody else, but you're forgetting to think about you, because it's less painful, it's less stressful, and you're not necessarily in touch with your true feelings and emotions, because they're like back burner and you're taking care of everybody else. In the long run, it's gonna smack you in the face, and then you're gonna say like, forget that. Oh, yeah, I have to be careful. Forget this or F this, because I can't do it anymore, because you have nothing left to give, because you have depleted all your inner resources and you gave it away without taking the time to replenish yourself.
Yeah, and it's interesting that, and I think part of that, I agree. There's part of that, whatever I'm going to in on that too, is this thing is a good mom, a good woman, a good daughter, a good wife. If she looks like, that thing of how to be I'm not a good parent or whatever that is, we're measuring against what we see other women are doing, and we're thinking, well, everybody else is busy. They're, making sure the house is clean. They're making sure things and making sure that. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, why are you putting all this pressure on me? Why am I putting all this pressure on myself? And who made up those rules?
Okay, I need to say something right here, because I'm really getting upset, because there's this book that exists, The Good Housewife.
Oh,
It was written in the 1950s. One of my friends gave it to me. I was so pissed. I was angry. I was extremely angry, because I found nothing funny in that book. I was to that. Do you know what book I'm talking about?
I know of the book. I've never read it, but I know. No. And the thing is, again, the thing is, and it's coming, and I'm going to get controversial here. I'm going to get very controversial.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So there's this whole thing happening around abortion. And in Oklahoma, they're trying, and they've tried to do this once before, but they're trying it again because of now the regime that we have in place, where you can grab a woman by their pussy, and that's perfectly legitimate. They're now wanting women to have to get permission by the man before they can get an abortion. And I'm thinking to myself, and this is what got me, this is where I'm going to. There is something about our society that it's always about controlling women. That somehow we're not smart enough, we're not conscious enough, yet we want to prove ourselves by being a good wife, by being this, by being nice, by being whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, that gets us nowhere. So my philosophy is this: if your belief system is abortion is wrong, then don't get one.
Yeah.
But I need to have the right to safe health care for my well-being.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing. This whole thing about women are just, we have keep objectifying women. We keep pushing it back. There are still people who believe that when that if someone is married, that they have to talk to the man before they can make it's like, oh my God, would you, but it's about controlling. Think about it. Okay. I'm watching the weather. I love the Weather Channel. I'm watching the men in their outfits and I'm watching the women. Why does every woman, most women, news anchors or weather people always wear dresses, high heels? They have to wear different outfits. And if you look at a man, he gets to wear a suit, nothing's form, he can move, he can wear the fucking, yep, I said it, same suit every single day. And no one gives a damn. But yet a woman, if she wears the same thing, oh my God, her hair, send. Oh, look at her, send. So the question I have is, why don't we make it a law that men need to wear tight forming shirts underneath their so this way we can see their chest and we can see their panty lines, and they'll have to wear Spanx and all, because again, it's about controlling women. And I think as women, we have to get to the point that we need to let go of some of that control around how we view ourselves and give ourselves permission to say, screw it. I don't have to be nice. I can be respectful, but I don't have to be seen as a nice person all the time. I get the right to be angry. I get the right to say my words that I want to use. I don't know, right? So anyway, that's been going on in my head. And I think, and I think a lot of times when we're in those places of a shitty day is we're not giving ourselves permission to say, this is shitty.
Yeah. And you're right, Sharona, right? A lot of times is we don't give ourselves permission to live what's going on. We don't give ourselves permission to be angry, to be sad, to cry, because we feel like if we're crying, we're going to be judged like being a sissy or weak or
overly dramatic or too sensitive.
Sensitive, exactly. And I'm sure some men would love to be able to show their emotions, but they too feel afraid of showing their emotions because of fear of being labeled, of being ridiculed, of being seen as of doing what they're doing. And all of these contributes to us having these moments where we are feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling as if we're losing control over our lives. And then when something bad happens in consecutive days, we feel like our world is about to fall apart because we haven't let ourselves be able to express what's going on. The key thing you said is to always be respectful of other people's similarities, differences, their choice of life. We need to learn to live in the environment, society, community where being different is really important to the survival of all of us. We can't be the same. We can't. It doesn't work long term.
No, and you know what? It's interesting. We and that respect is also self-respect. And it's also about saying, you know what, respect, and someone said this, I can't remember who it was, but respect has this thing of understanding. When I whatever your belief system is or however you deal with your emotional well-being is not going to look the same as my emotional well-being. It's like when people grieve, whatever they're grieving, every person's style, flavor, whatever flair for grief is going to look different. And it's when we start judging ourselves, oh, I don't grieve like everybody. Well, no, I don't grieve like everybody. I grieve like me. I grieve deeply. I grieve for, how long I'm going to grieve. The same thing is I do feel, I, I'm very empathic. So I feel deeply other people's stuff. And so, yes, I'm oversensitive. Why is that a bad thing? Right?
Exactly.
I have to learn, though, when to say, okay, I cannot put myself, I can feel the energy in the room. I got to go away. I got to leave. I got to go. And a lot of times I was just talking to someone and they're having someone of a family member bring their spouse. And this person doesn't like the spouse and doesn't want to share, deal with the spouse. But instead of saying, because again, she doesn't want to cause trouble. She doesn't want to, she doesn't want to, look like she's not a good person. She's going to say why they can't see this spouse is because her husband is going to be ill. I'm thinking, why don't you just say, you know what? I can't deal with this. I just can't do this right now. I don't have the energy to have this coming in right now. Because again, we're afraid of hurting other people's feelings, but we don't. So in other words, she's putting herself in a bind, right? Right.
It's okay for her to hurt her own feelings and to, not honor her what she's going through, but she's not willing to, she's going to sacrifice herself in order for everybody else.
That's a great word. Sacrifice. Yes, I am going to throw myself on the sword so everybody else
can benefit from it.
And I'm thinking, okay, that is something, but I know there's a lot of women. I know there might be stepmoms. I know there might be midlife women who do that. We do that all the time. We're concerned about other people's feelings that we then will sacrifice our own truth in the moment because we're not. And I do that too, is because I get nervous and I get up, oh, what are they going to think of me? There's got to be a point where it's like, you know what? So if they don't think I'm nice, oh well.
Yeah, again, it comes back to respect, right? If you respect that we're all different, then you're not going to be sacrificing yourself in order to make everybody else happy, become a martyr or a victim. Because in the end, I don't think anybody really enjoys being around martyrs, victims, and people who sacrifice themselves all the time. There's something that's like, and anyways, for me, when I see them, I feel like I have a hard time trusting them because then I can't trust what they're saying because I will always question, well, are you telling the truth or are you just playing along with a game? And for me, that's a big thing. If I can't trust what you're saying or feeling in order for you to want to make sure everybody's happy, then the relationship it becomes broken and it becomes harder to repair, especially if you don't build that trust so that we can help each other. It's okay to not agree with everybody.
And it's okay not to like everybody. And it's okay that not everyone's going to like us. I think that was the biggest thing I needed to learn is not everyone's going to like me. And I'm not going to like everybody. And there are people in my, I'm very, because I too sensitive. I do not, there are certain energies of people I don't allow into my world because it's toxic for my well-being. And it takes courage to say no. And this morning this morning I was having a conversation with my cat Squishers, and Squishers is has taught me many things. One to how to completely relax, how to not apologize for anything. She doesn't, screw it. Talk to the paw. Whiskers don't care. But the thing that I realized is, and it's going about respect and having a shitty day and all that. It's about she will warn me when she doesn't want to be bothered. She will let me know in advance that she needs her space. Now, if I do not respect that, or I don't hear it, or I don't pay attention to it, I will be scratched, bit, something, right? But she's always a warning. And I know the body reading. We have a tendency at times is what happens is when we're having a shitty day, we're trying to show it that we have our shit together, and we're going to, put that chin up and brave front, and we're going to hold it in.
Right? We're going to
plow through. But there's all the warning signs that's happening. We're going to, I'm going to go back to this person who's going to use an excuse of somebody else instead of honoring, saying, I don't want to see this person. There's going to be build up stress and resentment, and what's going to happen is going to leak out somewhere else. And you're going to see, right? I don't know, but I've noticed that with people and with myself. If I don't take care of what I'm dealing with in the moment, it's going to leak out, and I'm going to lash out at the person that I think can handle my lashing out, right? I don't know. Anybody? Raise your hand. Yep. So one of the things is the first place you're going to know that you're in that before you get to that lash out, your body, your psyche, your spirit, whatever, your heart is going to tell you, danger, you got to take care of this. And it's going to show up physically first. So for me, it's going to be the chattering in the head,
or a headache,
or belly brain is going. There's going to be, yeah, right. Maybe heartburn, because the heart is burning. Heart needs to be expressed. So listen to those. So that's one of the things. So, and then the other thing is sometimes when I'm really not paying attention, I'm going to get completely exhausted. It's like, or I'm going to keep walking into walls, or I'm going to keep tripping and falling down, or there's something I don't feel like I'm in sync with life. I don't know so those are the things I think as we go, how to release, how to pay attention to that, respect those signals so that we can take care of what is now and find ways to, write it out, take paper, call a friend, go punch pillows, go squish a cat.
Do running, exercising,
dancing.
Dancing. Maybe do some art, clay manipulation, maybe gouache, finger painting, maybe pet your animal, but don't pet your animal if you've been finger painting.
No. Unless they want to have a different color, right?
Yeah, exactly. So those are all ways of, of at least addressing the signals when you're having a shitty day, instead of avoiding them, ignoring them, because it'll get out of proportion. It will grow. It's like it grows like a mushroom, right? Or it goes and you think everything is fine, and all of a sudden it's like this great big explosion, or a volcano, or a pressure cooker. So, address those signs. And as we're wrapping up, what are your 2 tips you'd love for our listeners to take away from our conversation today, Sharona?
I think two tips. Okay, I'll probably end up with 3 because I don't follow rules. Because because I'm a rebel and I'm a rogue. Um, and I'm a dancing warrior. Okay, so the first thing I think is acknowledge that you're having a shitty day. I think just acknowledge, things are, I don't feel like things are going right. I feel klutz, whatever that is. I think acknowledge it and acknowledge it to someone other than yourself. Be it a tree, say it out loud, sing it as a song, put on a shitty day song, find your shitty day song. Um, Dance the shitty dance. I don't, find what, but honor that it's just things are just not going smoothly. And then the other thing to, and then find a way to do that. And then I think um, when you hit that wall or you hit that thing or whatever is going on, is give yourself permission to reboot and then give yourself permission to take a baby step forward in your timing,
Yeah.
not by other people's, Now, yes, we might have family obligations and other than that. So it might be, I, you might need to have a 5-minute timeout and have a 5-minute temper tantrum, and then you go back to what you need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you can't have your temper tantrum in the middle of the store. But you can wait until you get to your car and just scream out aloud, um, but anyway, those are some things that are just coming to mind. How about you, Claudette? What are some things that you want to share?
Well, some of the things I'm thinking is along the same lines as you said, give yourself permission, because a lot of times we're trying to put up this front of, everything's going great and it's not. So, once you've acknowledged, and you shared some great tips here, um, you know, honor yourself. Take care of yourself first, because if you don't take care of yourself, there's no way you can take care of other people. Stop giving everything of yourself to others. Your people are just going to walk all over you, uh, because they think they can. So be comfortable with saying no, being comfortable with saying no, and understand that it's it may take a day or two, it may take longer for you to get over this feeling of shittiness, if it's a word or not. If
It
who
is
cares,
now.
we're inventing it is now. And just allow yourself to take the time you need. And as you said, Sharona, talk with a friend, talk with someone who's going to respect you, who's going to listen to you, not necessarily tell you get over it or this is what you need to do. Unsolicited advice is the last thing we need when we're not feeling well, because it may tend to make us feel even worse. And if you are looking for support or help when you're having a hard time, Sharona and I are both here looking forward to helping you in whatever way we can. And Sharona, I'd love for you to share, I know you work with midlife women, so tell us a little bit more about, how you can help and support midlife women if they're having a shitty day.
So you know what? For many midlife women, midlife itself is shitty. So it's like screw this. But it's an opportunity actually, and it doesn't feel like it when you're in the middle of it, to really look at what's important now. What are the values? What are the beliefs that are working for you, and maybe what you can let go of as you move forward into time. And this is and this is going through midlife transition and transformation. Doesn't You don't have to do it alone. Sometimes we need a friendly sidekick or a faithful sidekick to help navigate through it, and that's what I'm here for, is to really look at what's working, what's not working, what does your spirit need, what does your heart, your body need, what does your what are your emotional needs, and and what does your mind need, um so what I if you are at that point, you're going, what, this can't just be it, there has to be more to this. I don't want to just be surviving midlife, but I really want to be thriving wholeheartedly in my body, mind, and spirit, you know and express who I am now. You can reach me at Sharona at midlifewomendancingwithchange.com. My website is www.midlifewomendancingwithchange.com. Hashtag midlife women dancing with change, or hashtag emotional impact, or hashtag thriving in the midst of midlife change. And you can find me on all kinds of social media platforms. The other thing too is I have a freebie to sign up for. It's called Thriving in the Midst of Midlife Change. It's a 6-part mini e-seminar that you can download and give you a little extra support. I'm working on my getting it out there. My playbook called the Courageous Midlife Women Taking Risks, Reaping Rewards. So hopefully that will be out soon. It's always in the edits. And of course, so yeah, email me, let me know how I could be your faithful sidekick. And because again, you don't have to, life is not meant to be, we don't have to carry midlife transition or transformation on our shoulders alone. We need our crew, we need our ensemble, we need our entourage to help us through this. So, and how about you, Claudette? If there's a stepmom that's just having that week of, oh my God, everything is just awful, how can you help them uh, move forward, even
Get
though
through
it's,
their shitty days, right? Yeah.
move through the shit? There you go.
So if you're a stepmom and it's like you're wondering, how can I get through this? Like, this is terrible. I can't stand this. Um, give me give me a call or email me at Claudette at stepmomcoach.com. My website is stepmomcoach.com. And just so you know, I've been a stepmom for 27 years. So I've been through a lot of the changes, from having young children, the teenage years, after college, getting married, and now they have kids. So, pretty much the whole spectrum. And there are different reasons and different ways of getting support, and whether it's working with me one-on-one, or taking some of my e-courses, or just signing up for your stepmom wisdom tips, just check it out and connect with me, and I'll be happy to guide you and direct you in what is most appropriate for you. You can follow me using the hashtag stepmom coach or stepmom wisdom. Both of those hashtags will direct you to either my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, Google Plus, just a little bit about everywhere. And again, being a stepmom has rewards and it can be amazing, but let's face it, there are days where it's really, really tough. And if you try to do it on your own, it's going to be a lot tougher, because um, it's hard to know whether if this is normal, if this is part of the process. Is it going to last forever? Is it just a phase? So I'd be happy to talk with you. So as we wrap up, Sharona, I just want to say thank you for everybody for being here and listening. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Like I said, we have a lot of other videos that you could listen to. And if you feel like it, and we encourage you to re-listen to this episode as well as our past episodes, maybe take a pen and paper, or maybe your whatever your favorite writing tool or whatever you use to take notes, and take notes as you re-listen to our episodes, because oftentimes we hear something but we're not ready to understand or to take it in. So we encourage you to re-listen to these episodes and share what you're thinking about what we just shared. Sharona, anything you want to add as we wrap up here?
And one of the things is, yeah, I think I'm going to go say again, subscribe. The other thing too is maybe down below, write in a comment about maybe how you deal with shitty days. What is your ways of moving forward? Because that might be information someone not we might not have, or someone in the community might not have thought of. And this is how we create our community of empowered women to move forward. And so, yeah, drop us a line, let us know what's on your mind. And maybe, and the other thing as you were talking is, what's some of the issues that you want to hear about? If there's something on your mind that you wanting to have a conversation about, we're glad to take those. We love to hear from you all. So, Claudette, thank you for another wonderful episode of Conversations That Matter Most. And thank you, everyone, for watching. See you on the other side.
Thank you, Sharona. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.